Resilience is choosing to move when everything in you argues for comfort. Modern life pads the edges. We're warm, fed, and rarely forced to suffer. On the trail, pain becomes feedback, not a verdict.
Still got a bit more to go, don't we?
Yeah, quite a long way to go, so.
It's looking pretty warm.
Yeah.
You downshift the pace, shorten the target to the next can, breathe, eat, drink, and keep the promise you made to finish. We are capable of far more than our daily routine suggests. Most limits are negotiated by the mind, not enforced by the body. The work is to push past the first ceiling, safely and deliberately. You don't have to be heroic, you just have to refuse to stop. One more step, then another. The destination doesn't arrive because it was easy. It arrives because you kept going. Enter the Alta Via 1. And I wouldn't be doing it alone. This time, Alicia would be joining me.
Killing it, look at her go.
The Alta Via 1, or AV1, is one of the most popular long-distance hikes in the Dolomites, and for good reason.
Oh, there's a boat.
Is it?
It's got horns.
Towering peaks, epic views, cozy mountain huts, and pasta that somehow tastes better at 2,000 metres. Over 7 days on the trail, we tackled 120 kilometres of mountains and a few surprises along the way. This is the Alta Via 1, our take on one of Europe's most iconic hikes.
Alright, so we are on the Alta Via 1 in the Dolomites in Italy. We are doing 120 kilometres over 7 days, and we're going to be doing a mixture of wild camping, staying at refugios, and staying at a couple of campsites.
Starting in the north at the postcard perfect Lago di Braies and winding its way south to the outskirts of Bellunesi. We decided to tackle it in mid-June, early in the season, which supposedly means fewer people on the trail. This was Alicia's first big through hike, but she's no stranger to endurance. She's done plenty of ultra races before.
I think it's tough, but it's what we're here for.
Me? I just wrapped up the Alta Via 2 a few days earlier, so fresh probably isn't the word I'd use.
We're about 4 or 5 kilometres in, and about 400 or 500 metres of elevation.
We set off under perfect blue skies, and then began the climb into the mountains. From the moment we left the lake, the trail didn't ease us in. It went straight for the legs. 800 metres of pure incline, pulling us higher and higher toward a plateau that looked like it had been carved by giants.
We're 2 hours 15 and we've done 5.7k and probably about 800 metres elevation.
Absolutely stunning.
Absolutely stunning.
You feeling?
Yeah, I'm alright.
The sun blazed down, each step heavier than the last, until finally we reached Refugio Biella. cold drinks, delicious pasta, the kind of meal that makes you forget, just for a moment, that you're here to keep moving.
Off eat it.
We just had lunch at Refugio Biella. Continuing on now, and we're just heading down towards our next Refugio, which is Refugio Pederu, I believe it's called.
We pushed on, weaving through a sea of jagged peaks and rolling ridgelines, passing Refugio Sens. The plan was simple: descend into the Emerald Valley of Pederu and figure out where to sleep. But the mountains had other plans. Word of an incoming storm spread along the trail like wildfire. We quickened our pace. The air grew thick, shadows stretched longer, and just as the valley opened up before us, the sky broke. That night, safe in a small B&B, we listened to the storm rage against the mountains, and we knew tomorrow the real adventure would continue. We woke up to a whole new world. The storm had packed its bags and moved on, leaving behind nothing but blue skies and crisp mountain air. By the time we stepped back onto the trail at Pederu, we were moving quickly, legs feeling fresh, spirits buzzing.
Alright, it's day 2 of Alta Via 1. So last night we had to book a hotel quite last minute just because of the rain and the thunderstorm. So we've done a bit of incline and we're just making our way up to the Refugio.
This section of the Alta Via 1 is classic Dolomites. Steep valley walls giving way to alpine meadows dotted with wildflowers, and switchbacks that seem to pull you up into the sky. The trail here has been walked for centuries, first by shepherds moving their flocks, later by soldiers in the First World War.
All good. That river is cold.
Is it?
It's icy.
Chilly?
Yeah. I don't think I'll be going for a swim in that.
No.
After the hut, the world seemed to open up. A glassy alpine lake lay perfectly still, reflecting the clouds like a mirror. In local legend, the lake is said to be bottomless, a mysterious remnant of an ancient glacier. Beyond it stretched a vast plateau, almost like a natural amphitheatre.
Killing it, look at it go. Non-stop. Oh!
Gone past Refugio Fanes and we're on our way to Schiari.
Alright, so day 2 has definitely been a little bit more chill on the Alta Via.
Eventually, the trail drew us toward our turnoff, a long, unforgiving descent into the little town of Schiari. It was steep, it was punishing, and every step seemed to set our knees on fire. But at the bottom waited our reward, a small, cosy camping hut. 4 walls, a roof, and the chance to rest, and brace ourselves for whatever the next day would throw at us.
Alright, we are just trying to hurry down a bit now. The wind's picked up, clouds are rolling in. I'm trying to get down off the mountain as quickly as we can. What's going on?
There's a massive thunderstorm.
It's a huge thunderstorm.
Again.
We woke to another postcard perfect morning in the Dolomites.
Good morning, it is day 3 on the Alta Via 1 trail. And we're just heading up from our campsite, heading back up to the mountain range, up towards Lagazuoi. Apparently it's a really stunning view of the Dolomites. Not bad, eh?
Not bad.
Okay, we're just coming up to Refugio Scatoni. The weather has cleared up quite nicely actually, but we're just on the slog uphill. It's very slow going. Slowly going up, just past Scatoni and heading up to Lagazuoi.
But the mountains were already whispering warnings. Every hiker we passed spoke of thunderstorms set to roll in that afternoon. Not ideal considering our plan involved 2 monster climbs. First, up to Lagazuoi, a solid 900 metres from camp, and then over to Cinque Torri on the other side of the pass.
Alright, where are we headed?
Refugio, Lagazuoi,
Yeah.
which is probably another 600 metres of climbing.
Still heading up the Lagazuoi. It's definitely starting to get a little bit cloudier.
For Alicia, this was the first time snow had crept onto the trail. Lagazuoi isn't just a mountain with a view, it's a fortress of history. During World War I, this peak became one of the most fiercely contested spots on the Dolomites. Italian and Austro-Hungarian troops literally fought inside the mountain, carving tunnels, bunkers, and hidden passages into the rock to gain a strategic advantage. Even today, you can walk through these restored tunnels, imagining the bitter cold, the isolation, and the sheer determination it took to survive up here.
All done. We've decided to go up to Refugio Lagazuoi, where I might grab some lunch, and depending on the weather, we might get the funicular down.
Eventually, we crested the summit, standing at roughly 2,800 metres. The view was breathtaking, but not just because of the beauty. Across the vast horizon, massive thunderstorms were marching toward us, dark and heavy, swallowing the landscape. We weighed our options: push on into the storm, or avoid becoming human lightning rods. The gondola down to the pass won, so we called it. Packed up the idea of hiking any further, booked ourselves a warm hotel room in Cortina, and let the storm rage outside while we dried off inside.
Alright, day 4.
Day 4, big day.
How many kilometres?
We're doing approximately 20k, over 1,300 of ascent. Late start at 10 a.m, so we're going to be going until 8 p.m.
Day 4 was always going to be a big one. Because we'd been forced to cut the previous day short, today meant stacking multiple sections together. Over 20 kilometres and more than 1,400 metres of climbing. Even from a distance, the name makes sense. 5 towers. A cluster of jagged rock spires that rise like sentinels above the green slopes. These formations are the weathered remains of an ancient coral reef, uplifted and carved by millions of years of erosion. The towers are now one of the Dolomites' most popular climbing and tourist spots, and by mid-morning, the crowds confirmed it.
I'm tired and heavy.
Past Cinque Torri, back down behind us. We've still got a little bit of elevation to go.
I used to treat solitude like a badge. Empty trails felt like proof I was in the real mountains, and anything crowded felt like theft. Lately, I'm loosening that grip. When I pass groups laughing at a viewpoint or hear trekking poles ticking in rhythm behind us, I remind myself, they're outside, moving their bodies, choosing fresh air over screens. And the mountains are working on them the same way they worked on me. I don't own quiet, I just borrow it. And hiking this one with Alicia has rewritten more of the story than I expected. It's my first full through hike with a partner, which means a shared space instead of a personal best. Decisions made together. Snacks split in half, and a kind of silence that's bigger because it's shared. We trade doubts, calibrate moods, and celebrate small wins. A clean water source, a break in the clouds, the last switch back before a hut. With a joy that doesn't exist when I'm alone. I still love the empty miles, but I'm learning to let other footsteps belong here too. And to admit that some views get brighter when someone's standing next to you, seeing them for the first time as well. After a quick wander among the stone giants, we decided to move on. From there, the trail plunged down towards Passo Gial, one of the most iconic mountain passes in the region. We stopped here for lunch, watching clouds drift lazily over the peaks, but we knew our day was far from over. Our next climb took us back into the quiet heart of the Dolomites, towards the Coldai area. The mountains here are raw and wild.
Another 8, maybe 9 kilometers to go. It's looking good today. It's gonna be a nice afternoon walk. Feeling better?
Yeah, warmed up.
Warming up.
These ridges once formed the seabed of a prehistoric ocean, before being thrust skyward by the collision of continents. In the First World War, soldiers hauled supplies over these passes. Today, the only sounds are wind and the occasional call of a golden eagle overhead. We took our time exploring, letting the weight of the landscape truly set in.
Nice one. We've just come up over the pass onto this stunning plateau that we're walking across at the moment. It's very green, some pretty stunning rock formations around us, and it's super quiet. Give us a bit of an update.
I've just drank some water from a stream. Hopefully, no diarrhea.
Eventually, we began the long descent toward our home for the night, a quiet campground near Refugio Aquilia, tucked at the base of yet another staggering mountain wall.
Very green here, just like green pasture land. It kind of reminds me of Scotland a little bit, but yeah, it's beautiful. You can just see the alpine tree line just below, so we'll probably descend down into the trees in the next half hour or so.
Oh, there's a bull.
Is there?
It's got horns.
And we have finally made it down off the mountain, down towards our campsite.
After 20 kilometres, endless climbs, and a full day of history, geology, and sheer beauty, we were spent, but deeply content.
Yeah.
I knew you liked them.
I woke on day 5 feeling off. A wave of nausea, low energy, and the sinking knowledge that we were heading straight into the Coldai mountain range. Not exactly an easy stroll. The first 5 kilometres were a slow battle in the morning heat. Every incline felt twice as steep, every step heavier than it should be. I took frequent breaks, gulping in the thin air and wondering how the day would play out. Eventually, some anti-nausea medication would kick in, and I could feel my legs starting to wake back up again. The Coldai Mountains are part of the Civetta Group, a range that's as dramatic as it is historic. Sheer limestone walls tower over deep valleys, their pale faces catching the sun like giant mirrors. We finally reached Refugio Coldai, perched high on the ridge, where cold drinks and a quick bite brought some life back into us. Just beyond the hut lay the final climb before the jewel of this section. Lago Coldai, a small alpine lake cradled in a bowl of rock and grass. We plunged straight in, gasping and laughing, hoping the shock would be enough to recharge us for what was still to come. The next stretch was brutal and beautiful in equal measure. A high traverse along the shoulder of the Trieste mountain area. Here, the trail clings to the slopes, with the ground dropping away sharply on one side and cliffs rising on the other.
Okay, it is day 5 on Alta Via 1, and we're just hiking along this ridge beside the mountains on our left, heading to the next Refugio, which is where we'll stay tonight.
The sun was absolutely relentless. It turned the white rock into a heat reflector, and every step felt like walking through an oven.
Just starting to ascend back up again. It's pretty hot, and we're both flagging a little bit. It's just so warm, but we're getting there slowly.
Is it that way or this way?
Either or, I think.
Moving house to house, moving field to field. Is it even worthwhile to say that the powers of silence couldn't meet his demands? It's hard to run when the temperature's falling.
I think now everything is just starting to catch up to both of us. We're both a little bit grumpier today, less filming. I think we're just exhausted. It's also been a very hot day with just constant sun. We're baking.
Hours later, we finally began the descent into the shade of the tree line. And with it came our destination, Refugio Vazzoler. It was built in the 1920s by the Italian Alpine Club and sits surrounded by a botanical garden filled with alpine plants.
I feel like, the mountains after,
That night, we ate well, slept deeply, and felt the relief of knowing we were down to just 2 more big days on the Alta Via 1. We woke to that kind of bleary-eyed morning only a night in a communal hut can bring. Today was going to be another monster. A double-section day. First, we'd descend off the Trieste mountain area, then take on the very last mountain range of the Alta Via 1, the Dolomiti Bellunesi. The descent was slow, almost meditative, tracing a narrow, rugged path that hugged the mountain's shoulder.
Day 6 on the Alta Via 1. Our second last day. We're just coming down from Refugio Vazzoler, but as you can see, another stunning day here on the trail.
Below, the valley opened wide, but every step demanded attention. Loose rock, sudden drops, and the kind of exposure that makes you move just a little more carefully. After hours of this, we came across the next Refugio, a welcome sight and the perfect lunch stop. By 11 AM, we'd only managed a third of the day's distance, and the real climbing still lay ahead. From the paved road at the pass, we began our final big ascent, back into the mountains. This range is wilder, less developed, and far less visited than the northern Dolomites.
And this mountain range will be our final mountain range that we tackle on the AV1, as tomorrow is our last day. It's about 2 o'clock, 2:15 in the afternoon, so still quite a decent stint to go with quite a bit of incline.
Here, nature takes back control.
Back up we go!
Dense forests cling to the steep slopes, scree gullies funnel into hidden valleys, and jagged limestone peaks rise
What do you reckon?
I'm cooked.
Still got a bit more to go, don't we?
Yeah, quite a long way to go still.
It's looking pretty warm.
Yeah.
By late afternoon, the heat was punishing. Our bottles were running low, but digital maps promised a few refill spots ahead. Each one turned out dry, the taps silent.
We're both pretty knackered. We just need some water, hoping that the next water point actually has some water.
As our last marked source loomed, the thought of it being empty had us on edge. In this heat, running out of water was not an option. Relief washed over us when we found it flowing with clear, ice-cold mountain water. We drank deep, filled every container, and carried on.
Got some water.
Water?
Liquid gold.
More water.
Alright, we've finally come out over the shoulder to the other side, and it's pretty stunning. It's much more shaded. We've got some water on board, so we're in higher spirits now.
Now came the question of where to sleep. We pitched the tent, cooked our freeze-dried meals, and sat in the fading light, watching the peaks turn pink. It had been one of our hardest days on the Alta Via 1, long, hot, and relentless.
So how was the afternoon?
The afternoon was hard and tiring, especially when we ran out of water.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's tomorrow?
Tomorrow's the final day, final push.
Tomorrow, our final push would bring us to the end of the trail.
It's got that distinct Radix taste, but it's okay.
Day 7. The final push. The trail ahead would carry us through the wild heart of the Bellunesi National Park. A stretch of the AV1 known for its isolation and raw beauty. Our goal? Reach Refugio Fontana. Then descend back down to civilization. The day began gently, the path threading through narrow corridors of thick scrub. Then the trees began to thin, the terrain opened, and there it was, our final summit. At 2,425 metres, this summit is the highest point in the southern section of the AV1. Its name translates to Middle Zeta Peak, one in a chain of rugged crests that dominate this part of the national park.
It's tough. We're going slowly.
The climb is steep and exposed, the trail zigzagging over limestone slabs and loose scree. From the top, the view is unforgettable. To the north, the jagged silhouettes of the northern Dolomites we'd already crossed. To the south, the lowlands rolling out towards Venice.
No, worth it for the view.
It felt like standing on the threshold between wilderness and the rest of the world. Crossing the pass on the far side of the peak, we began the long descent down toward Refugio Fontana.
So we've just come up over the final pass of the Alta Via 1, and it's a little bit moodier over on this side.
The air warmed. The vegetation thickened again, and the smell of pine and wild herbs filled the breeze. At the hut, we ordered a proper meal. Heavy, hearty, and exactly what tired legs needed. And quickly demolished it. As we rested, we met Matthias, our local hiker who offered to guide us down a lesser-known path and drive us to Sofranco, a small village near Belluno. His route would shave off an extra 8 kilometres and avoid another big climb, an offer that was too good to refuse. And so, with Matthias's help, we dropped quickly from the heights to our lowest point yet. The cool air of the valley wrapped around us as we stepped off the trail for the last time. This was the end of my Dolomites journey. First the AV2, now the AV1 with Alicia. The AV1 had been an incredible crossing. Jagged limestone peaks, flower-filled meadows, high passes, stormy afternoons, and scorching climbs. But the rewards were beyond measure. The AV1 is often called the most accessible of the Dolomites' great traverses. And yes, it's less technical than the AV2, but it's no less thrilling. If anything, that accessibility allows more people to step into this world of stone and sky, to taste the through hike in one of the most beautiful mountain ranges on Earth. If you have the chance, take it. The Dolomites will stay with you long after the last peak fades behind you.